Shalom to my brothers and sisters who are the bride of the Messiah, and shalom, shalom to the scattered Hebrew Israelites, for you are the bride of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. Today, I finally had a chance to sit down and work on these numbers to give you the end of the year report for the year of 2017 to 2018. And the reason why we want to do this because we want to make sure it aligns up with biblical prophecy. Now, one of the books I'm talking about is dealing with the book of Jubilees, the first and second book of Enoch, and also dealing with the 1611 Bible. For further study, you can also read the work of Josephus, and you may see some of these things in there as well. Okay, so let's begin. Now, you will have access to this book of document, my brothers and sisters. I just want you to listen and watch and take notes. And let me, for the sake of your vision, I'm going to blow this screen up. Okay, there we go. That's a whole lot better because not all of us have good eyes. Okay. So what I did, y'all know me, I make forms, I make formulas because I'll have to see the numbers. I got to see how does it align with the Most High biblical word, also how these numbers align with biblical prophecies, and how they also align with the heavens, okay? So the title of this form is Yahuwah's Calendar Yearly Totals. And for this year of 2017 to 2018, we do not have a Shemitah, okay, in that year, nor do we have a Jubilee in that year. This is very important to know. So the year of 2017 to 2018 make the year 2 of the 50-year count. Okay. Now for 2017 to 2018 year, we only have 12 months. Okay. The last 13th month that we added was in the year of 2015 to 2016, and that fell in the cycle of 5. So our projected leap year that we are expecting to add a 13th month will fall in 2018 to 2019. And I forgot to type in that would be cycle 8. Remember what Enoch tells us about the 3rd, 5th, and 8th year, and then it starts over again. And it does this a total of 7 times in 19 years of the moon. Okay, which is, as Enoch called it, the sevenfold. Okay, the sevenfold. Even when you study astronomy, even the Gentiles would mention about the sevenfold. So they have done that. I think it fell in the year of 2016 when they talked about it. And I did put links and videos to show you that example, okay, to understand what is the sevenfold. And basically what that means is that the moon will appear an extra time, 7 times in 19 years. And there is evidence of there is evidence of a 13th moon that the heavens does display. In your spare time, review Enoch chapter 78 and chapter 80, because it does align with Yahuwah prophetic messages. If you not have heard his prophetic message, that's dealing with the call to the 12 tribes, and also the message to the house of Israel, which is Ephraim, to the 10 lost tribes, he's spoken to them. And then he has also sent another message to the bride of the Lamb. Please check the video description box to have access to those messages. For again, you will see how it aligned to what we are seeing now in the heavens. Again, if you are keeping a record, you will see what he means of things being out of order. Okay? Things are manifesting themselves in the heavens as well in the earth until a birth of a nation come forth, which had been prophesied in Isaiah chapter 66. For we know that Israelites are still scattered through the four corners of the earth, and the Most High will do great divine things and great divine miracles, for he will open up the waters again to bring his people home. Okay, now on this form, we want to keep a record. When was the first new moon crescent seen? Now, the reason why you see one for Israel and then the line above Israel is because America has been seeing the new moon crescent before Israel. Unfortunately, my Israelite brothers have not addressed this to my knowledge, and I have went to them and they still not addressing it. However, the Jewish people has been noticing too. Again, that's a sign unto you Hebrew Israelites who are in America that the Most High is letting you know you are His people, and the moon will not show at her appointed time as prophesied by Enoch. Okay, so this is why America is seeing the new moon before Israel. So America saw it on March the 28th at sundown. Then Israel saw it on the next day on the 29th at sundown. That's very important for us to keep a record of. Now, for this year in 2018, which starts our new year, we here at America and in Israel saw the new moon crescent on the same day. And it fell on March the 18th at sundown. So I'm going with America dates because America saw it before Israel. So if we look at from March the 28th at sundown to March the 18th ending at sundown, we will have a total of 355 days for the moon. The reason why Israel have 354 days for the moon is because they did not see it until a day later. Now, by doing these numbers here, I'll look at calendar days, and I also look at the actual timing of the moon circuit and the actual timing of the sun circuit. And when we get through this form, I feel pretty good why I have 355 days. I wanted to make sure I did not add anything. Well, I wanted to make sure I did not add anything incorrectly. I want to make sure that I kept the right date correctly. So you can see how we got 355 days, and Israel only had 354 days of the moon circuit for the year of 2017 to 2018 AD. Okay, now for the next area. You want to definitely keep up when your equinox occurred, because again, this is a way I can check myself to make sure I kept a record correctly of the sun circuit dealing with the sun year. So the first equinox fell on in the year of 2017 AD. It was March 20th. And the spring equinox for the new year fell on March the 20th on 2018 AD. Now, if you read equinox, what that means is, my brothers and sisters, it's saying to you that on that day is when you have about 12 hours of night and 12 hours of daylight. And that is the last day of the sun 12th month. That is the last day of the sun 12th month. So the first day of the sun new year should be on the next day. So this is why you see me having the sun year began on March the 21st on March the 21st, 2017 AD, and ended on March the 20th, 2018 AD. Now, here's the formula that I use. Now, for February 2018 AD, there was not a leap day added. It only had 28 days. So I will be using the formula that you see below that is not for the gradient, that's not for the Gregorian calendar leap year. Okay? So because I have the dates of when the equinox came, when the equinox started and when the equinox ended. So looking at March the 20th on 2017 AD, I do not count the 20th day because that's the last day of the 12th month. So I counted up the number of days left in the month of March, and that's how I got 11. Then when I get to the next equinox, I do include the 20th day because that's the last day of the sun 12th month. Okay, so that's how I got 20 days for March 2018 AD. So 11 days plus 334 days plus 20 days, I get 365. The reason why I do this format is to check to make sure I kept a correct record of the sun year on the Most High calendar. Okay. Another thing that you want to keep a record of, you want to see how many blood moons, solar eclipses, supermoons, micromoons, or partial eclipses occur through each season. Okay? Like I said, it's good to take notes because if you have this on your summer sheet, you can pinpoint what season this occurred, because again, remember he said in Genesis 1:14 that these lights in the firmament of the heavens shall be for signs, for seasons and days and for years. And the lights that the Most High is talking about are the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. And Mazzaroth is the Hebrew word for the 12 signs. Okay? Now we're going to start with season 1. Season 1 is dealing with spring here. So we're not going to go over every single number because it'll get boring, but we're going to look at the grand totals, okay? So let's first start with the moon for spring. So in season 1, which is spring, the moon had a total of 89 days. So if we look at the actual timing of the moon, we get 87 days, 23 hours, and 33 minutes. Now, where I'm getting this data from, because I haven't really sat down to figure out the specifics, let me see here, is I went to timeofdate.com, and you can look at how they keep a record of duration. Now, warning you, they go by the dark moon. So your numbers may be slightly different if you figure out how to do the timing from new moon crescent to new moon crescent. Okay? But I'm going to use what I got because it still helped me to see what's going on when you're dealing with the end of the year. Now, for the sun, for the year of spring, the sun had 93 days, and the actual timing of the sun circuit, I got 92 days, 18 hours, and 22 minutes. Now, in my side note here, I made a note that America saw the new moon crescent before Israel in the first month. And come back and check the Google documents because I might be adding some other specific details about the moon, because there was other months when the moon did not show at her appointed time. Sometime America saw it before Israel, and there was a time that neither America nor Israel saw it. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, my family. Had to take care of something right quick, but let's get through this quickly because I have some other things I need to do. Sorry. All right, so that was the spring season. And for the sun, we had a total of 93 days. And when I kept a record of the actual time of the sun, I got 92 days, 18 hours, and 22 minutes. Now we're going to look at season 2, which is the summer season. We had one solar eclipse and one partial eclipse. Okay, and oh, sorry, my tongue got twisted. Now for the moon, dealing with the summer season, we had a total of 88 days. The actual days of the moon was 88 days, 3 hours, and 0 minutes. Now, when we add a total of the moon numbers for mid-year, you can say in the half part of the year, we had a total of 177 days, and the actual timing of that was 176 days, 2 hours, and 33 minutes. Now for the sun, for the summer season, we had a total of 94 days. And the actual time of that was 93 days, 17 hours, and 37 minutes. So when we add 94 to the last season, we get a total of 187 days for the sun mid-year. And the actual time of that I got during that time was 186 days, 11 hours, and 59 minutes. Okay. Now for season 3, which is fall, we only have one solar eclipse during that period of time. Now for the moon, we had a total of 89 days for the moon for the fall season. And the actual timing of the moon was 89 days, 1 hour, and 0 minutes. Now for the quarter year of the moon circuit, we had a total of 266 days. The actual timing of that was 265 days, 3 hours, and 33 minutes. Now for the sun. For the sun, for the season of fall, we had a total of 90 days. And the actual timing of the sun's circuit was 89 days, 20 hours, and 10 minutes. For the sun quarter year, it came to be 277 days, and the actual timing of that was 276 days, 8 hours, and 9 minutes. Now we look at the last season, which is winter. In the season of winter, we had one blood moon and one supermoon. Okay, and let's look at the moon first. So in the winter season, we had a total of 89 days for the moon. And the actual timing of the moon circuit was 89 days, 6 hours, and 41 minutes. Now, when we look at the complete year of the moon circuit, we had a total of 355 days. This is for America. And the actual timing of that moon circuit was 354 days, 10 hours, and 14 minutes. And this is why I feel comfortable that the reason why we have 355, and you'll see why as we go further in this video. Now for the sun. For the sun, total days for the winter season was 88 days. Now what I have for the actual timing of the sun was 88 days, 23 hours, and 48 minutes. So the total days for the sun circuit or the sun year came out to be 365 days. And the actual timing that I had on my record was 365 days, 7 hours, and 57 minutes. Now, we're going to see how keeping a record of the Most High Counter relates to Jubilees chapter 6. That's one of the prophecies in that book that tells you about what will happen for those who are keeping a record that observe how the moon come in about 10 days too soon. Okay? So what I did, timeanddate.com has a site you can go to looking at what they call tropical year of the sun. And that's a pretty good chart to use to compare to see if you've been adding up your numbers correctly. So I came very close this year, at the end of this year, came very close, my brothers and sisters, okay? So for this one, the actual timing for the year of 2017, and if they go from March to March, they do look at the equinox. Let me go back here where you can see what I'm talking about. They go from March to 2017 AD to March 2018 AD, and they have 365 days, 5 hours, 46 minutes, and 41 seconds. Okay, so when I compare that to what I have, I was about maybe an hour, some minutes and seconds, or close to 2 hours, off. So I came pretty close. Okay. So what I did, I took a difference between the moon calendar days from the actual timing of the moon circuit. Okay. First, what I did is, I took a difference from the moon calendar days from the sun calendar days, and I got a difference of 10 days. But when I look at the actual timing of the circuit of the moon and the sun, with that 354, 10, 14 that you see highlighted in blue, and for the sun, I use 365, 05, 46, 41 that you see highlighted in the red. I got a difference of 10 days, 19 hours, 32 minutes, and 41 seconds. Again, you might say, why this is important? Because this will help you to see when will you have to add a 13th month, okay? Because we know that the moon circuit total days in that circuit are lesser than the total days in the sun circuit. And because the moon circuit total days are lesser than the sun total days, it would get further and further behind the sun. In other words, it would have your Passover starting in the winter time if we do not add a 19th month. And believe it or not, the heavens do produce, not a 19th month, if we don't add a 13th month. And believe it or not, the heaven does produce a 13th month for those who keep the record. And it can be seen in the other phases. It can be seen with the dark moon, with the half moon, with the full moon, and also the other half moon that's decreasing light. Okay, you can see that. So this is why it's so important to keep a record of looking at calendar days versus actual the actual timing. Okay, so I feel comfortable that the moon total days for the year of 2017 to 2018 is 355 because I'm looking at the actual timing of the moon, which was 354, 10, 14. Okay, so on the calendar we can't put 354, 10, 14. We would have to use whole days. We have to round up, so it makes sense. Round up or round down, one or the other. Okay. So also I added to this form is another chart that we also need to keep up with because what I learned dealing with Beta Israel, okay, and some of them may know you as, some of you may know them as the Danites, okay. There was a great piece of information that I found through Wikipedia that pertains to Beta Israel that you will learn they too are keeping up with time, with the days from Adam, which is very important because of what the Most High showed me. He also helped me to understand what season we are in. In other words, what day we are in for Adam. So you can go to this Google document and you can read that. But I want to show you how I got these numbers, okay? So we are in the 7th day from Adam, which is about the 7,000 year. And when you convert that to creation time, you'll get about the 12,000 year, okay? So what I did, I created a chart where you can see how I was able to get these numbers. But what I'm showing unto you is that when you look at Beta Israel right here, when you look at them compared to what I have in my calculation, if you notice, we are in the 7,000 year. Now, when you look at the Jewish people who are converts, they are in what? The 5,000 year. And the reason is because they don't believe in the Messiah. So they don't take account of the years of what the Messiah did here upon this world. So that's why they are kind of like really way off. But when you look at my brethren calculations with my calculations, we see we're kind of, you will see that we're in the same season or the same day as Adam. Now, the reason why I have a little bit more is because of other things the Most High shown me. But one of the guaranteed dates that I know without a shadow of a doubt, and based on the signs of the heavens and the records of it, and based on the sacred text, that you will learn that the Messiah went down to Sheol, which is the heart of the earth, in the 5,500 year from Adam. And when you convert that in creation time, that'll be the 10,500 year from creation. He went down there during that time. And when you convert that time to man's timeline, which is dealing with, the heathen's timeline, you get 32 AD. And the reason why this is so important because when I went back and looked at the time when King Solomon started building the temple, it occurred around 969 BC, which in Adam time that was 4,500 from Adam. And when you convert that into creation, you'll get 9,500. And reason why that is so important because when I took the difference between the time that when King Solomon started building the temple to the time when the Messiah went down to Sheol to set the captives free, I got a difference of 1,000. So that was one of the biggest key things to let me know that I'm pretty much on the right track. Now, I'm not saying that this number is the exact number, but what I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, that when you look at Beta Israel and my calculations, we are in the same season. We are in the 7th day from Adam, which is the 7,000 year from Adam. And you convert that into the creation time, you get from the 12,000 year from creation. So you can take this time now to pause your screen to see what is the conversion when you go from 2014 to 2015 AD. For Beta Israel, they got 770.86 in Adam time. For me, I got 742. And for the Jewish, they got 57.75. And I went all the way down to 2018 to 2019. So in Adam's time for Beta Israel, they got 7090. For me, I got 7486. And for the Jewish, they got 5779. Okay. And I just put some other photos where you can see to guarantee to show you about what the Jews have, for the year 2017 to 2018. They count that in their calendar, 5778, but the Hebrews are not going by that. Okay? All right. Continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10 and baptize them in the name of Yahushua HaMashyach. For the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism. And from this learning about from the Feast of Unleavened Bread, now we had a true understanding what that water-based baptism represent. If you get a chance, read Romans chapter 6, and then also read 2 Peter chapter 2, because it really goes really deep. All these things that are commanded of us by the Messiah, as well as what's written in the New Covenant, which is inclusive of the Old Covenant, it's some really deep spiritual things there. And then you will learn why you're no longer a servant of sin, for you have been set free, and you become the servant of the Most High, which is bringing you back to the status of Adam. All right, said enough, talked enough. All right, so I wish you shalom. And do you know who that piece is that's with you? Think about it. Matthew chapter 28, verse 20.